G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is the Instigating black powder rifle. It's kind of strange how Bethesda added in all of these really primitive, old-timey weapons when you've got that juxtaposed against highly advanced energy weapons, but here we are, the Instigating black powder rifle doing 180 damage base without any perks. We'll go ahead and get some of the perks happening. Got concentrated fire and tank killer, so we can ignore a little bit of that armor. Concentrated fire will help out in VATS a little bit, but first of all we should probably put some perks on. So expert rifleman, master rifleman, and the basic rifleman. 9 perks into that. Spectre very aggressively into it, and we're sitting at 288 damage. Going back to my perk thing, we don't have Mr. Sandman, so we've just got an extra rank of Action Girl and also Marathoner, so we can sprint around a little bit, and that'll be important a little bit later. We're still running this on a stealthy person, so Escape Artist is going to help a little bit, but basically that is all it. I don't think we'll get too much use out of critical strikes, but if we can get those going with the instigating first hits on our enemies, I'm sure we'll do a ton of damage. Don't think there's anything else to talk about here. I'll just switch this out for rejuvenated, and then we'll be on our way. When crafting ammo for this weapon, you want to make sure you have Super Duper and also Ammo Smith on, so that'll allow you to get double to the results 30% of the time, which is good for getting extra bullets, and this one will allow you to create 80% more. Jumping on this particular workbench, and if we go down to 50 caliber ball, we can create 9 of those for 5 and 5 lead and steel, so that's alright. We'll create a couple of these. It's only a low rate of fire heavy hitting weapon, so we won't need a whole lot of ammo for this. In fact, that'll probably be enough. If we have to get more, I'll come back here later on. Okay, so here we are outside of Crevasse Dam. Map reference is here, and let's get started on these super mutants. So I think overlords can be taken down with one chest shot, but we'll go in nice and close just so we don't miss. Yep, looks alright. Now I am reloading this thing right now, and as you can tell, that animation takes a while, so arguably probably not as useful with the adrenaline perk, but it reloads in like, I don't know, a couple of seconds, so let me just test that. Oh, we can actually one-shot super mutant warlords when sneak attack critting, and not in the head, which is actually kind of huge. I'm taking those tin cans so I can craft more ammo later on. That one is a skirmisher, so no matter where we hit him, without even sneak attack critting, we should probably kill him. We'll just hit him up in VATS so we can actually guarantee that hit. Using VATS is a good thing. People think that it's noobish, but it's a thing you can use to your advantage, and it's a thing that you can use to pop criticals at will, so there's no shame in using it. It's actually a really good tool to do a lot more damage. We are still not detected for some reason, which is great, which means I get an extra 2.5 times damage, which is serving me well against all of these super mutant warlords. That one's got a minigun. This one commonly actually carries a minigun, and it's a nice place to actually acquire these things. I'm going to hit him in the head. No point in using VATS if it's not a 100% chance, right? And since he was a boss character, you dropped an extra double barrel shotgun. We won't use that, although that weapon is similarly primitive compared to other weapons in this game, but that one's a classic. Who doesn't love a good old double barrel shotgun? Not sure what we have left. We'll quickly hobble on over to this particular super mutant down here. And since we've got a nice chest shot to go on, or back torso shot, there we go. So still, with this thing being loud and proud without a suppressor, if you've got the right sneak perks, chameleon armor, which is good, I'll probably have to show that off. Yes, chameleon armor. They stack, and you can't tell me otherwise, because you all saw me fire off this big-ass rifle with no one detect me. They totally stack, so yeah, you can still use this as a stealth build, interestingly enough, which is great. Okay, so I was going to try and one-shot this bear, but then a ghoul sort of happened, and he's not at full health anymore, but still we're going to try anyway. Did a fairly decent job at him, although now we're in a little bit of trouble because we have to shove this stupid little 50 cal ball down a barrel, and he's going to get a hit on us, and probably another one, and another one. But that's okay, we can just switch to a different weapon because we know that you can't really depend upon any black powder weapons for crowd control situations, so it's good to have another weapon on speed dial. That is one of the weaknesses of this weapon that you should be aware of whilst using this, and it's a pretty obvious one at that. Okay, so here's my thinking for this weapon. It's a big, heavy-hitting, slow reloading, big rifle weapon, so using it just with its instigating effect should be enough, but it's not going to really be great all the time. That is why I think we should complement it with other weapons, and I'll just swap that out for an actual gorilla perk. So what I'm going to do is chuck in gorilla perks, and I'll have a auto pistol just to, you know, help me out when the going gets a little bit crowded. So that way we've got a weapon to complement this rather than letting it do all the work on its own, because the way it reloads, you really have no chance when it's a crowd control situation, and you can't really snipe with it either because you've just got iron sights. And you're not always going to be in the situation where you can sneak attack crit at will. So going against these guys, you can easily one-shot them and take them out one at a time. When you control the fights, it's actually quite a lot easier. But when something happens where you're jumped by multiple things, or things that don't exactly die in the first hit, that's when you can land yourself into a little bit of trouble. So for insurance policy, what I've done is just got myself some gorilla perks, and okay, so here's the thing. So he's going to detect me now. It's going to take a while for me to reload. And he hits kind of hard. He staggers. He can do all of these other bad shit. So it's not great. So if I'm in a bad situation where I need another weapon, it's good to just have something like an explosive, furious 10mm pistol at your disposal. Yes. Take this a random lot of feral ghouls, for example. Sure, I might be able to pick off some of these with my rifle without being detected, but what happens when I do? I've just got a bunch of feral ghouls in my face tearing away at my health bar. So other than being completely stealthy and moving around, there's not a lot I can do. So I'm going to switch over to this because there's obviously nothing much else I can do except for use escape artist. Whoops, that's not good. Yeah, other than just trying to use escape artist to reload and, you know, shoot again, it's just best to switch to some sort of sidearm to help you out. Now, generally with weapons in these videos, I like to use them alone just to see what they can do, but for this one, the limitations that it presents really needs you to sort of give it a little bit of a backing up with another weapon. So it's a shame, but you take what you can get, really. That, of course, begs the question, why use this thing at all when you can just switch to a sidearm and get better performance? Which I say, yes, very good point. Would you like to buy this instigating rifle? And I'll sell it to him for a discount price, or either that or I'll take it from my dead corpse. Yeah, I don't know. It's good when you can control the fights, but as soon as you get getting swarmed by bad guys, you can see the flaws of this thing's reload being enough to really kill ya. Fortunately, ghouls are super stupid. They don't really run up to you properly all the time. In fact, some of them get confused and just sort of stand around whilst you wait for reloading. But since you'll be reloading for about a fortnight when you're using this thing, it's certain that you'll easily get killed by these sorts of situations. So I feel like to make the best use out of this weapon is to just use the instigating effect along with your criticals and shoot things. And then if you get in a lot of trouble by getting detected, then you can switch to a different thing, like right now. So we're going to switch to a different thing, and we're going to shoot the My Alert Queen until it dies. Alright, almost got her. She's having a little bit of trouble pathing out of there, so we'll just put her out of her crabby misery. And she dropped some gamma gun. No, just one gamma gun, not some of them. Okay, so the performance, as you can tell, is alright. It is held back a little bit though, which is unfortunate. But for an old girl, she's done alright. Not as good as the Gauss rifle would, but yeah. It's a totally different weapon. Also, I'll put a gas mask on. Okay, here's the thing. So all of the, holy shit. All of the Scorch Beast fissure spawning locations were down, and the only way I could spawn one of these bad boys was to summon it from the event called Get Your Leg Crippled. No, from the event called that one where you gotta defend the turret, but I've just let the turret die and I've killed a bunch of little dudes, so I've got that extra bit of adrenaline. It's probably worn off at this point, but seriously, you saw all that damage. I thought he wouldn't have been at full health because he was targeting some super mutants before, but we fucking obliterated his health bar. fair play to the Instigating black powder rifle. I didn't think she had it in her. So instead of switching to a new weapon, we're just gonna take the extra hits and see if we can't finish this Scorch Beast off with that. We'll go for the torso there for the... Oh good, he's gonna break all my chameleon bits. That's not good. Also, these guys are around. Okay, I'm gonna make a compromise. I'm only going to attack the Scorch Beast with the black powder rifle. These guys can go, however, get a taste of my explosive 10mm. And hopefully with these guys out of whack and not up in my grill, I can actually not get spotted. Zero in caution, he's only panic firing his immense laser blasts, but he did get us out of crouching there because he broke a limb. I haven't got bone worms or anything, he's just on point today. His aim is pretty good. Ah yes, that's pretty good. Not nearly as much damage as we got before, but still an adequate amount of damage to do pretty good work to his health bar. Now if you could just go away. Fuck it, you're getting a taste of this as well. All of the Scorched around here can eat my 50 caliber ball ammunition, which would not be accurate at all. You're so elusive today, Scorch Beast. I think Bethesda have got something planned. There we go. Because they're all capped off, so something's coming, I think. But on that note, we've actually managed to kill a Scorch Beast, and he's also giving us a handmade rifle. Nice. That's actually a sweet weapon. Okay. So, on that note, I didn't really get to my thought process on this, but I did have a little bit more to say. Despite this thing's performance obviously being outshadowed by the dragon weapon because that thing just fires 4 at a time, this thing, despite all its performance, is actually still super fun to use. It sounds really good, it's satisfying to get those one-shot kills on dudes. It's just a little bit bad on the performance side, which... It's so fun to use that I'm almost willing to forgive it. Despite being not as good as other weapons, I've actually had a fun time with this weapon. So, if you'd like to see this weapon in your game, hit me up. I'm going to sell this one, I think. It's not for me, but it's a whole lot of fun to use. I'm too busy cheesing everyone with sneak attack criticals with my... Ooh, there's a 10mm submachine gun. I'm going to break that down. Hopefully I get some cool parts. But yep. Hit me up if you want this. Only one of them to go around. The starting bid is a 5.56 round and a shotgun shell. Thank you for watching, guys.